Now, folks, a lot of questions have been raised. But instead of complaining or criticizing, our team is taking action. After a slew of comments and concerns were raised, Just the News, in partnership with Real America's Voice, has launched a project to independently review the returns from a select number of counties in the most contested swing states. The investigation is going to include a review of the number of votes cast compared to the total eligible voters. We're going to look at alleged ballot harvesting. There's going to be a thorough look to ensure that proper certification processes were followed. And we're also going to do a county-by-county investigation to ensure that there was equal protection under the law for how ballots were counted. Now, joining us now to give us more information about this partnership, the mission of the project, and what they've already found is founder and editor-in-chief at Just the News, John Solomon. John, thanks so much for joining us today.
Good to be with you.
Tell us about the mission of the project and what you guys have found thus far.
Listen, at the end of the day, it's about getting facts, getting the truth out. There's a lot of people in America that don't believe this election was held fairly.
Yes.
We need to find out. If it was, we should say so. If it isn't, we're going to expose the evidence.
Yes.
Over the last 24 hours, we've assembled a team of over 30 journalists that are all over the country working, gathering ballots, gathering election results, analyzing data sets, and we already have some very early preliminary conclusions. Some news for you. Probably the first and most important news is we are aware of a whistleblower that is now working with the FBI in Michigan, a state worker or city worker that it says he was asked to backdate ballots that had come in beyond the deadline to make them look like legitimate documents. Now, we don't know yet whether the FBI has corroborated the story, but we can confirm that the FBI, the Justice Department, this whistleblower is working together. The Michigan GOP is aware of this person and referred the matter to the FBI. This is an ongoing investigation. It would be the first example of a systemic or systematic effort to create fake ballots or illegal ballots. So if it gets corroborated, watch that case. That could be a big one. You heard Adam Laxalt in Nevada.
Yes.
There's another set of whistleblowers there. They're looking at some of the information there. We've done a couple things. We went into the city of Milwaukee, where the vote changed the outcome of the Wisconsin operation. Trump was leading when we went to bed. Wisconsin, we woke up after the Milwaukee vote came in. He lost. We see 90 of the 480 precincts, nearly a quarter of them, where the voter turnout was more than 90%. Now, we think it's going to be a record in America at 67%.
Yeah.
When you see a 90% precinct, you start to wonder, did something go on? So we've identified those. We've written about them. We said where they are. We put the spreadsheet out for the public to see. Now our reporters are going on the streets in the city of Milwaukee trying to interview people saying, did you really vote? Your name's on here. Wait a second. You look to have died. Your father looks to have died. Did he vote? We're checking Social Security records. We have found some people that appear to have voted that are dead. So we're in the very preliminary stages, but we're beginning to see patterns that might make the American public concerned when we get our data done.
Wow. And at the end of the day, again, this is about ensuring the integrity of the election.
That's right.
This isn't partisan.
Nope.
Every American should agree that we need to find out whether or not this was an election that was conducted and counted with integrity.
100%.
And to come back on this Michigan story in particular, a reminder for all of our viewers, you have a deadline on election day, and it sounds like there's a whistleblower who's saying that there were votes that came in after the deadline, and they were asked to then backdate them to make them appear as if they were legal votes.
That is the allegation that's currently being investigated. There's an individual working with the Justice Department, with the FBI is what we're told. We're told it's Michigan and most likely Detroit is what we're hearing.
Yes.
But the FBI has to go in and check their credibility.
Yeah, we have to dig in.
Getting an insider, a whistleblower, someone that was actually there as opposed to someone making a guess from 30 feet away standing, could be a really significant development if there was fraud on the ground in Detroit, like the Michigan Republican Party has been claiming.
Very good. And then the case in Wisconsin, again, you and the investigators aren't saying that there is fraud, but we're just saying statistically this looks anomalous when you're seeing 67% across the country and you've got 90+%. Yeah. It's just worth digging into.
Absolutely. And listen, there's only two things that could have happened. There's a lot of great civic engagement in Milwaukee, and then if that's true, God bless the voters of Milwaukee for being so engaged.
Yes.
If we begin to find examples of people who didn't belong there, or who died or say they didn't vote, then we're going to be able to expose that and tell the American people, hey, there's some weirdness in these counts in Milwaukee. We've got to take a look at it.
Awesome. And we've got, as you mentioned, 30 investigative reporters who are now working together as a team going
Six
in
different states.
in 6 different states, and all they're doing is looking at the facts. They're looking at publicly available data.
Yeah.
They're talking with poll workers. They're talking with potential viewers, and then they're going to bring those facts to the American people.
That's right. Exactly what we're doing. We're also talking to a lot of election clerks. We're doing a survey in Pennsylvania. This is a very interesting issue.
Yes.
The law, as you've so articulately said on your show before, requires that all voters be treated the same in the state.
Yes.
You can't have Detroit voters be able to fix their ballots and Ann Arbor voters not being able to fix them. So we are talking to some election clerks who say, we were told that there's some advice that was given to us on the 21st of October that we could fix ballots or send them back to be fixed. We didn't get it. We didn't do it. But Detroit did. And so we're beginning to look at that. Pennsylvania, similar thing. We're beginning to see that. And if we find a pattern where voters in parts of the state didn't get treated the same as others, that could become a legal matter in the future. We're doing that survey. Right now, Pennsylvania, I think we're through half the clerks.
Wow. I mean, this is really important because, again, for our viewers, basic fundamental principle of the Constitution, equal protection under the law. That means that your vote, whether you're in an urban area, a rural area, a conservative county, a liberal county, they all need to be counted equally. But if county clerks or election officials in one county are treating ballots differently than another, that would violate the Constitution's Equal Protection Clause.
Absolutely.
And that's what we're digging into. And again, we're not saying that it has happened, but we're saying that we need to dig in to find out whether or not it has.
We do have affidavits from 3 election clerks in Pennsylvania said, listen, we did not give the same thing to our constituents because we either didn't know about it or we thought the advice was illegal. So we're already beginning to see a pattern, at least in Pennsylvania, where voters were treated differently depending on where they live. Now, we got 3 or 4. We're doing a survey of all 70. We'll find out. We'll get those results back to you, Eric.
Awesome. And your team is going to be digging into this all through the weekend and through
next week. Yeah, it's going to take a few weeks to get to the bottom of this. We're using the Freedom of Information Act to get all communications between poll workers and Election Central in their cities. We'll see what those communications show too.
Yeah, because again, those folks, whether they're elected officials or people who are in charge, they should have been giving the same instructions to everybody across every state. Well, John, we really appreciate you and the whole Just the News team digging into this. It's a fantastic partnership with Real America's Voice. And folks, again, that's why we are bringing you these stories right here on Actionable Intelligence. Go out for the latest over the weekend. Go out to justthenews.com. And as we've said here on this program before, the beautiful thing is that at justthenews.com, you're going to be able to not only read these stories, but all of the journalists also put in a dig deeper section. You can go in and you can read the raw documents yourself and come up with your own conclusions. It's really important that we have election integrity. We hear you and we're working with you. God bless you. We'll be right back in a minute.